Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. Go Be Great with Coach Karena. I am your host, Coach Karena Calhoun. I am your expert life strategist, and I have another awesome, amazing, wonderful episode for you today. And I have Dr. Stephanie Wilson Coleman. I'm super pumped to be talking to Dr. Stephanie today. Dr. Stephanie, how are you today?
I'm doing wonderful today, and I want to thank you for having me on your show. I love it when I meet other life coaches because I think that that's what the world needs now. So thank you for bringing your greatness to the world, and thank you for inviting me to share.
Absolutely. And likewise, I honor you as you hold space for other people in the life coaching arena. This is absolutely, as you said, something that is much needed for many, many people. We ourselves need coaches. So listen, I am all for it. And I love the fact that you and I do not count it robbery. We do not count it as competition to be on this platform together. I absolutely love that. There's no competition. We're working together, arm in arm, we're linking arms, and we're making sure the world gets what we know they need and we have. So, welcome again, Dr. Stephanie. So, tell us, where in the world are you located right now?
I'm physically located in Chicago, Illinois. I've been here for several years, originally from Florida, and I find that in Chicago, for me, being able to see people who look like me to actually be able to achieve their dreams on their own businesses, understand the value of needing a coach has actually been powerful for me.
Wow, you just said a mouthful out the gate, blazing out the gate, and I absolutely love it. You know, I had a conversation this morning with a group of folks, and that was actually the crux of the conversation that we had, that, of course, all people need this type of coaching.
Mhm.
They need this inspiration, this motivation. They need this push, the accountability, all of it, if you will, the eye opening experiences. But there just seems to be this demographic of people, us, people that look like us, who need, I believe, a little bit more. They need, and tell me what you think about this. They need that approval to go be great. That approval, as your background says, live the life you have imagined, dream big. They need that approval because for some reason it's ingrained that they don't have the right to do that. Talk to us about that.
Well, when you look around society and you look at all the statistics, what you see is a picture of people who look like us who are not doing well. But that's the story or the narrative that this society sometimes wants us to believe when it's actually not the truth. We've all learned over a year ago that the majority of the people who have PhDs, master's degrees, even undergraduate degrees are African American women. So we are doing really well in our endeavors, in our businesses, and in corporations. But what I have discovered while I was in a corporation, I used to be a director of a corporation, and I supervised 75% of the staff, which was African American, is there seems to be a hesitancy on our part to move forward because we don't know if that's going to be considered a threat.
Mm.
And we
Oh
don't,
my goodness.
that's right. And we have been taught not to be threatening.
Oh, oh, oh my God. Oh my God. Uh, I almost have tears in my eyes. I am being as serious as, I know I'm smiling for those that are watching the video. I know that I'm smiling, but it is because I have, in just that moment of what you just said, I have gone from emotion to emotion to emotion. Number one, the sadness of it.
Mhm.
Number two, knowing exactly what you mean because been there. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And then number three, knowing that someone like you who looks like me is saying, no, you have permission.
Yes.
You have authority
Yes.
You have the right
Right. Exactly. And
to go forward.
you have earned it. And sometimes we need to sit still and understand. There's a lyric in a song that I love, that we are our grandmother's dreams, our grandfather's wishes. So we were already created to be in this space at this time, to be great. So I give you permission to be great, along with some other skills, of course. You know, how to de-escalate a situation, how to resolve problems, how to get all of the people's opinion on your team, because you can't do it by yourself. You have to have a team. So I teach strategies for those so that you can get the best out of everyone that you're working with. And once you connect with people and get their best out, then people no longer see sex or race or colorism. All they see then is someone that has a soul to soul connection. And that's when the magic happens.
Absolutely. I love it. Dr. Stephanie, I'm curious. How did you get started in this? A lot of times people say, I was my first client because I went through this. So I'm literally curious to find out how you got started in this.
So I was literally my first client. Okay. So after I was a teenage mother, I experienced a lot of sexual molestation and abuse growing up. So talking about not feeling worthy. And I have a saying that I used to say, any day I didn't consider suicide was a good day. For me, it was like, okay, so flat tire, call the tow truck, commit suicide. It had become to that point. And then I was homeless. And then my first husband stole my identity and charged a bunch of stuff on me, like $65,000 worth of debt. So suddenly I had to figure out how to move forward. So I started to journal. I'm a big proponent of journaling. I started to write down what I feel, and I would start with no particular plan, just what comes up. And a lot of people call that consciousness journaling, where you write just what comes up, and you'll be surprised what reveals itself to you on the paper. I used to think people weren't listening to me, but as I started writing, I realized I wasn't listening, not to people, but I wasn't listening to that inner guidance, that inner God or inner spiritual voice within me is what I was not listening to. And I wasn't listening to the things that people tell you. People tell you who they are, and they show you who they are. Don't try to change that. Believe that. And once I started listening, then all of a sudden I gave myself permission to forgive what had been done to me, because there was nothing I could do to change that. Only power I had was to change how I reacted to it. So when you find out where your power is, that's where you use your power. We waste a lot of energy trying to go back and make people pay for what they did. That's gone. That's yesterday's news.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Can't do anything about that. But you can do what you can do about is how you feel about it, how you're going to move forward, and you're going to have to forgive them. Not forget what happens. I'm not saying go to dinner with them, but forgive them because they didn't know what they didn't know. And you can't teach them what they didn't know at the time. So once I got to the point where I was able to forgive, then I could switch to being grateful. So I actually have a daily exercise, I still do to this day, where I write down 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for. I don't repeat a thing. I write down even any situations that caused me to think about something or a little anxiety. I'm grateful for that because it causes me to consider other options that maybe I would not consider, to learn something new and to give me some more information.
Wow. I love it. I absolutely love it. So, Dr. Stephanie, I want you to let those that are listening and watching, I want you to let us know how to get in touch with you. And then once you tell us how to get in touch with you, tell us what an initial contact looks like. Is there a consultation? Is there a survey or an assessment? What can we expect?
So you can get in touch with me through my website. That's champagneconnection.com. That's champagne like the liquor, CHAMPAGNE, and connection is singular.com. And champagne just stands for life is too short not to experience everything that you think you need to have a good life and for you to experience the best of it. If you go there, sign up for a free gift, you'll get a blueprint to financial success, because I actually work with you starting with your finances, because I work with the emotions behind the money that you spend. I find that people are kind of weary when it comes to actually talking about the emotions that they're going through. But when we go through your finance and we actually categorize what you were spending and why, then we can get to the emotional part, because people can talk about money and why they spend that. And then we go back through any childhood memories from that point, and then we put together some exercises for you so that you can overcome that. So you go through that, you'll get a series of emails, and then think about the second email, you'll figure out that why people call me the straight no chaser motivator, because I get right to the point. We don't have time to waste. We've wasted too much time already. So you do that, and then we'll have our first consultation where we talk about what you want to accomplish in the session and what you can expect from there. And then I actually have even though I have a standard program, each program is really customized to the person and what they want to do. So generally, if first I do a 90-minute assessment, then you can go decide if I'm the right coach for you. And then for that, it's a 13-week program, 13 to 14 weeks program.
I love it. And you talked about the whole concept of the emotions with the money, the emotions with the finances. And I remember years ago, I realized one day, I just woke up one day and said, oh my goodness, I am an emotional eater. And so what would happen was, some people, when they're stressed out, they go and do retail therapy.
Yes, well, a lot of retail therapy.
Yes. And so I realized when I would become stressed out, I would want to eat. But then I realized, wait a minute, it's not just when I'm stressed out, it's any emotion that I'm having that's a little hyper, hyper sad, hyper, angry, hyper, whatever, I wanted to eat. And so I think it's really good that you are opening this up for people so that they understand that your money is actually really tied to your emotions, because I began to see that I was spending a lot of money on food. And I started to gain weight at that time because of these emotions that were out of whack, that I was not accurately controlling. And so I'm really thankful that you are doing that for people, because, it's like you said, we don't know what we don't know. And so we've got to get off of that merry-go-round. So what are some words of wisdom you have for the folks listening?
So when it comes to figuring out where we are out of alignment, I want people, especially when they're spending their money, some of the easy things to do is when you're buying something, ask yourself why you're buying it, or ask yourself, how do I feel? Why am I buying this? What am I experiencing now emotionally that makes me want this dress? The dress could cost $2, but if you're buying it out of some need of self-care or help or some emotional hurt, it's not worth the $2. You need to stop and take care of your emotions. The other thing is, if you are having a negative conversation with your money, see, everything is listening. Our bodies listen to us, our money listens to us, everything is listening to us. So we need to watch our conversations with our bodies, our minds. We need to watch our conversations when we're using our money. So if you're saying, I really can't afford this, but I want it, then you need to stop, because whatever you do with that, it's not going to bring you any joy. You've just actually poisoned the whole purchase and experience. And the same thing with food. If you find that you're craving sweet, stop and ask yourself, why am I not feeling loved? And if you're craving something bitter, ask yourself, why am I angry? Deal with those things first, because those are the real things in life. And you'll find that you won't have to deal with the weight gain, or you won't have to deal with not having enough money. I also help people with what I call a financial plan so that they can see where they are going to land in the future. And that if you have a plan, that also helps you not to abuse yourself in those areas. And that's usually where we start. We don't even look at that until much later. And in relationships, there are certain, I teach my clients to ask certain questions by the second date. Why are we waiting? You know, if the first date doesn't go well, then you don't have to ask any questions. But if it does, a second date, you need to find answers to certain questions, to things that are important to you, such as children, religion, spirituality, all those kinds of things, your sexuality, those things, so that no one's wasting your time. Because women have a tendency to get 6-8 weeks into a relationship, it doesn't work, but they knew on the second date it wasn't going to work. And then when they decide they're going to break it off, then they're hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach you to always honor yourself and honor your feelings at every step of the way. Every step of the way, check in with yourself. Journaling helps. Do it every day in the morning before you get busy with your day. And it doesn't have to take a long time. Set aside 10 minutes and write down what random thoughts you have in your mind. You'll be surprised also when you do that, just how many good ideas you get for your day, for your business, for your life. It happens early in the morning before the world has bogged us down. So I try to teach you to be alert during that time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is absolutely amazing, and I love the fact that you give really a well-rounded view for one's life.
Mm-hmm.
You help on all aspects, and I'm just sitting here listening. I'm like, where was she years ago when I needed her in my life? So I will say, listen, you all, please get in touch with Dr. Stephanie, because we don't have to live the way we're living. It's not necessary. If you're living with any type of inner strife, any type of emotional crutches, if you're living with any type of financial disparity, all of these different things that we are encountering on a daily basis, it is not necessary. It's absolutely not necessary.
And they're all signs that we are not honoring ourselves, not being true to who we really are. And we're asking the wrong questions. Generally, we ask, why is this happening to me? Well, everybody can tell you why you're broke, why you're overweight, why you're sick. That doesn't help you. You know that. I want you to start asking, how can I be better? How can I accomplish this? Those are the answers that the universe will bring to you. That is a question you can answer.
I love it. One of the things that I try to ensure that I tell people is that, like for instance, with I'm broke, instead of saying I'm broke, figure out a strategy, figure out a plan. Because when you figure out that strategy and you figure out that plan, you're no longer broke.
Right. And if you stop and look at all the things you do have, because I'm broke indicates you don't have anything. But you've got some things money can't buy, like you're alive, you can breathe, you can see. I had a accident years ago, and they told me I was going to die. Only 4% of people live, is what they said. And I didn't die. I can't taste or smell. But do you think I let that stop me?
Wow.
It's like, no, I'm alive. Are you kidding? I'm walking, I'm alive, I can talk. That's the important thing. So teach yourself to switch to the positive. If you're saying anything that's negative, I'm broke, I'm sick, I'm tired, switch to the positive immediately. And
honestly, Dr. Stephanie, there's some things, we just wish we could not smell, to be honest.
I know.
I mean, when you can find the good in a situation.
Right. In any situation.
You know, it's not that you're changing the situation, but if you reframe how you look at it,
Right.
oh my
Right.
goodness.
But
Absolutely.
there's a quantum physics theory that says when you change how you see something, it changes.
Mm,
So if you don't see it as being broke, then the universe sort of rushes in and shows you where you're not. Now, what you may have is not enough money to do things with, but that might not even be the case. If you take the time to sit down with your finances, find where your leaks are and correct those, you'll be surprised. As I teach people how to find money with the money they already have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. And people just forget that because, as we talked earlier, the press tells you you're broke. The radio tells you you're broke. Your neighbors tell you you're broke. The rap songs tell you you're broke. Everybody tells you you're broke. So you kind of start to see that, but you're not broke. You just need to reallocate the money you have. That's all.
Absolutely. 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 Well, Dr. Stephanie, thank you so very much for stopping by and really sharing your wisdom with us. And tell us one more time how to get in touch with you.
So you can get in touch with me through my website, champagneconnection.com, CHAMPAGNE connection.com. And I only spell it because I live in Illinois and we have a city by the name of Champaign and it's spelled differently. So champagneconnection.com. You can look my website up. I'm on Facebook under my name. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and you can send me messages like that also. And
awesome.
And my email is SEWC@champagneconnection.com. So I do read email.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, Dr. Stephanie, thank you again so very much for stopping by. I truly appreciate it. This has been an honor to sit and chat with you. And folks, we will see you all on the flip side. Bye now.
Bye.